Hey everyone, welcome to our Team Aspire weekly Zoom meeting. Today is February 29th, 2016. It's the last day of the month. So if you are still going for Success Club, good luck everybody. You have until midnight tonight. So I know some people are not on this call because they're busy trying to talk to people tonight. So good luck to everybody for that. So today we wanted to do an open discussion. That's what our team calls usually are. We're doing discussions just so that we can have more than one person talk and then answer questions. I just found it works a lot better. A few announcements first, though. Next month, they just announced the challenge pack sales for March, and I should have written them down in front of me, but as far as I remember, it's the Hammer and Chisel challenge pack. So the Hammer and Chisel workout comes out tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be one of those things where everyone's trying to get at the exact same time. It usually launches at noon on Pacific Standard Time. So that's when it usually launches, and usually the website is really backed up. So if you try to get in, try to get it like right when it goes live, then you might have to wait a little bit if you can't get in. So that's usually what happens, but that is going on sale. Oh, I'm sorry, I said Hammer and Chisel. Thank you, Melissa. She's correcting me. 22 hardcore. Yes, 22-minute hardcore. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. That's launching tomorrow. I don't know why I had Hammer and Chisel in my head. So that is launching tomorrow, and it's going to be the challenge pack sale next month. They have the challenge pack with Shakeology, or you can pick the one with the Beachbody Performance line. So they have a choice there. So if you have someone who says, oh, I can't take Shakeology because I'm allergic to spinach or something that's in it, and maybe it's not in the performance line, you can have them look at that. So that's an option as well. And then also on sale is a 3-day refresh and Pio. So those are the challenge packs on sale in March. So we're super excited about that. Also, they just announced that the Success Club prizes for March. So those are going to be, if you're in Canada, it's going to be slightly different because they can't ship things as easily to Canada. So if you're in Canada, you get a 22, what is it? Oh, Beachbody Performance tote. So it's a bag that says Beachbody Performance line on it. So that's awesome. And then if you're in the United States, you get one of those little sample packs of the Beachbody Performance line. So in it, actually I have one in my closet. I should have grabbed it. Is little individual serving packets of everything from the Beachbody Performance line, so you can try it. So they have the after workout one. They've got, the pre-workout one, all that kind of stuff, so you can try it, so you can tell your customers what it tastes like and what your experience was. So that's awesome. So if you hit Success Club 5 this month, those are the prizes that you'll get. So everyone go for Success Club 5 in March. We just started our new coach mentorship group today. So that's going to be pretty much the same as last month. I'm adding in a couple things. I know I had some people that weren't able to finish it. So no problem. It is one of those things that you should be doing every month regardless if you've done it 100 times or not. So I always do that same thing every month where I'm doing, promoting this for this week and that for next week. And so you should be doing it anyway. So if you followed through last month completely, then do it again. So we are going to be tracking points this time. So I thought it would be fun to award anyone who completes the training. So if you've done the day's assignments, and it doesn't have to be on that day, just let me know, like, oh, I did day number 1 today instead of yesterday, whatever. Just tag me in the post and then let me know. I'm keeping a running total of everybody who's completed all the assignments. And so anyone who finishes it will get a prize at the end. So I haven't figured out what the prize is going to be yet. I have to sit down and actually put my thinking hat on. So I will let you guys know. But I think that's all last announcement. This is the last week of the Biggest Slim Down contest. So make sure your people weigh in by tomorrow at midnight. But this is the last week. The contest ends on Sunday. So that's the very last day that they can earn points. They can't earn points on Monday. They have to submit their weight on Monday. They can't send it in on Tuesday. So every other week they can send it in through Tuesday, but because it's the last day of the contest, they have to submit on that day. If they can't send it on Monday, send it in early. So I have a case of somebody going on a honeymoon on Monday, and she's like, can I send it in on Sunday? Yes, send it on Sunday. Don't worry about taking, she was going to take her scale with her on Sunday on her honeymoon. I was like, no. So anyway, make sure everybody does that. But the contest is going awesome. So thanks everyone for your help. So today we wanted to talk about how to get started right as a new coach. And then if you have been a coach for a little while, or even if you haven't, you're a new coach and you have a coach yourself that's working the business, how to get them started. So I really wanted to kind of, first of all, see if you guys had any questions about what to do as a new coach or what to do to help your new coaches. See if you guys had questions first and then go from there. Anybody who's live? You guys have any questions? Malitha is an older coach. She's a veteran. She's on the call. And then Noah's pretty new.
I didn't hear the question. What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, no problem. I was
What did you say?
Asking if anyone had questions about what to do as a new coach or how to help their new coaches first before I start like diving into things, just see if people had questions.
Well, I want to know specifically, like when you have a brand new coach that wants to work the business, what is your process to get them started?
So usually what I do first, and it really depends on if they are signing up for the discount and they're like, yeah, maybe I'll try coaching, or if they have been a coach for a while as a discount coach and they all of a sudden want to coach, or if they are going into it from the business aspect. So it really depends on where they're starting, but regardless, if I get a message or they just signed up as a coach to be a business builder, I always get them on the phone. First of all, go over their goals, see what they're trying to accomplish. So if they're just in this as a hobby, or if they're a serious business builder and they want to quit their job, kind of get a feel for where they're standing. Because unless I know, if they're all in and they want me to push them and they want me to hold them accountable for, Success Club and all these things, or if they just want me to be there to answer questions and they just want to pay for their Shakeology, so I really need to know where they stand. So first of all, I ask, okay, what do you want to do with their goals? And then I just go over the basics on like, okay, you want to hit Success Club, you want to get to Emerald, and you want to get a paycheck your first month. Those should be your goals your first month. And then I put them in the training group. I do one phone calls with anybody who requests it, who's really going for it. If it's someone who's just like, yeah, then it's kind of like I need you, and if they need help, then I'll do a 3-way call or jump on the phone with them. But as far as like scheduling a time every week, I kind of get a feel for that too. So anyway, does that answer your question, Melissa?
Yes, it does.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm just going to kind of jump into things. So as a new coach, who has felt overwhelmed? I know I have. Kind of lost, overwhelmed, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I remember as a new coach sitting in front of my computer, like, I'm supposed to be doing something. I have no idea what to do. And so I'd like stare at my computer or go through the news feed and see what other coaches were talking about and like try to get inspiration. Of course, this is like forever ago, and I signed up under my coach, Shannon, who had just been a coach for like a month. And she didn't know what she was doing either. So we kind of had to figure it out. We didn't have any training groups or anything back then. But so I totally get the feeling. Like I remember, I still sometimes I sit down and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? This is my power hour, and where am I supposed to be right now? So I think a lot of it is just figuring out like which direction to go, like getting that guideline and kind of even put your blinders on. Like if you are going to be, and if you're a new coach and you're trying to figure out what to do, follow the training, first of all. Like we have that coach training group, just do what we're telling you to do and just try to not get distracted when you're doing it. But that'll really help because it will give you that direction, and then it will teach you, the things that you should be doing. Because usually at this point, I mean, sometimes I do feel a little bit like lost, but most of the time I don't. Most of the time I sit down, I'm trying to do it as fast as possible because I've got other things going on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this and this and this. And so most of the time now I'm just hammering it out because it's so, normal, and you get used to it. So once you get to where you're like, okay, I need to send out this many friend requests, and I need to do follow-ups, and I need to send out invites, and, you just get used to it, and then it just becomes normal. So for me, I think I kind of panic if I have 0 messages in my inbox. I don't know if you guys feel like that, but once you get going, like you'll get so many messages in your inbox because you're talking to people all the time. And so for me, I'm like, whenever I answer all of them, I'm like, yes, I'm at 0, and it lasts for like 2 minutes, and then I have people replying to me. I'm like, ah! So if I have no messages going on, I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, because that's what conversations get started with. So, but as a new coach, I think it really helps just to kind of go through the training, talk to your coach. Now your coach might be new too. So if you are a new coach and you're working with somebody, or you're you have a coach yourself who's pretty new, that's where it kind of gets a little bit like, oh, fuzzy. How do you both figure out what's going on? I think that's where you both have to reach out to your upline coach. So figure out who is who's been a coach for a little longer and knows what's going on. So even if you're new and you're trying to train someone, obviously you're trying to figure it out together. So do it together as like a team effort, instead of like me trying to tell you what to do. So sorry, I know I'm breaking up. My internet went funny for a minute, but anyway, so yeah, if you're a new coach and you have a new coach, I was just saying, get together, figure it out together, and I guess a team effort instead of you trying to teach somebody. I think I'm still breaking up here. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, my internet's been kind of funky at the moment. But so
it's better now.
Oh, good. So Melissa, while I have you on here, when you are, talking to people about coaching and they're interested in being a new coach, what is it that you tell them that helps them decide to be a coach? Is there anything specific?
Well, I usually talk about the motivation that they're going to get. But then, I go through and tell them my story, how it's, hold that thought for a second. Sorry, we've got littles that don't want to go to bed. Really, I just tell them my story about how, even if I had never made a penny with coaching, what it's done to change my life. Like emotionally, mentally, because you don't just get that from the workout programs. That comes from actually being a coach. So I talk about that. I mean, and I do talk about the money, but the money's always an afterthought. Because if you place the money first, I feel like they expect they're going to come in and make $1,000 a month right off the bat. So that's usually what I talk about, is just what it's done for me. So.
Angie, you're on mute.
Sorry, I didn't realize I hit it. So yeah, that really does help to, see what your coach has experienced, because then you know what to look forward to. So I think that's a really good point. Thanks, Judy. Sorry, I didn't realize I hit the button. So, no, I know she's a new coach on our team. She's just jumping in and getting started. Do you feel like you have like an understanding of what you're supposed to be doing? Or are you still kind of confused, or where are you standing right now?
Well, it's for right now. I think I'm feeling overwhelmed by everything, and it's not just the coaching stuff. It's just I've got all kinds of other stuff going on. It seems like all the time. I'm not very good at being able to kind of organize my day, so to speak. It's kind of hard to set times for, okay, I need to get this done, and then I can work on this, and then get that done and work on this next thing. So sometimes I don't even get to sit down and even see anything in the coach training until 3:00 in the afternoon, and then by then I've only got a short amount of time. I got to turn around and do a bunch of other things, and try not to ignore the family too much. Yeah. So some of it I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And then there's some things that make me nervous, only because I think I'm afraid to sound pushy. Mm-hmm. Like trying to invite people or talking to people about things, even my own friends, and then like maybe inviting or trying to do friend requests for people. It's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I would do that though. So it makes me nervous. I don't like feeling like I'm, pushing my friends into stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's where I am.
Yeah, no, I understand. I felt the same way, especially about being pushy. I think that's really where it really helps to just talk about what you're doing, and then whoever comments or comes to you, that's who you kind of talk to the most, and then you don't feel pushy because they're the one asking you the questions instead of you going to them. And then as far as the new friend requests, I pretty much only request people who have mutual friends with me. And even then, like, I sometimes feel funny, like, sending them a message saying, thanks for accepting my friend request. I saw we had a lot of mutual friends. And so I kind of try to make it a joke, like, hey, Facebook felt like we should be friends. They suggested. And I was like, hey, she looks nice, and I kind of try to make it, like, lighthearted and just like, hey, I just thought it would be cool. And then kind of start a conversation. And then people are like, oh, yeah, no problem. So, it kind of depends on how you approach it. Like, obviously, I've had people friend request me and I accept it. And then the first thing they do is send me a message like, oh, I thought you'd be interested in this new skincare line. And I'm like, who are you? Like, why in the world? And then I'm like, oh, that's really icky. Like, so getting it on that side of the coin is kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, like, just try to make it lighthearted. And I don't think it just really depends on how you approach it. Like, you can totally be a salesy, annoying Beachbody coach, or you could just be an inspirational friend who's there to help people. It's up to you. So however you deal with it. And then as far as like the fitting it into your day, I think that's where you have to, first of all, realize that it is overwhelming and you do have to kind of come up with a way to do it. But, it doesn't have to be like an hour all at once. You could do like 20 minutes before your kids wake up and 20 minutes at night, or, whatever works best for you. And for me, it varies by day. Like, Shannon's always like, set your business hours. I'm like, I don't know my business hours. Like, my baby just decides to not cry sometimes. And I can say, sorry, it's 5 o'clock. I've got to go work. And she'll just be screaming and it won't work. So for me, I can like go, okay, I'm planning to do this. So you kind of just see what works for you. But Melissa has her hand raised. Say something?
Hey, Noah, something I did in the very beginning that made me more comfortable with the friend requesting people is go on somebody, like, say you went to high school with, Facebook page, go to their friends and look through and find people you went to school with and just say, hey, I saw you were on Facebook. I hadn't talked to you in a while. Like, until you get more comfortable talking to the random people, find people that you already have a legitimate connection with. Yeah. Or like people in your hometown that look really familiar and you're like, I know I've seen that person before. And so then you can go, you can message them when they friend request you and say, hey, I think I know you through so-and-so. And even if you don't actually know each other, like, people think they know people all the time. Like, I'm notorious for forgetting people's names and faces. And so then you start a conversation and then they half the time forget what you brought up in the first place. So, but the school thing worked really good for me in the beginning until you get comfortable. And then, sorry, I keep getting messages. I've got 3 people asking me questions. The time thing, you really need to take 10 minutes in the morning and just write down the things you absolutely have to get done first, and then decide where you want to put Beachbody. Just taking that time, and then that way you can fit it into chunks. I have 4 blocks that I could possibly put Beachbody in, but I only put them in 2. And so that way, it just depends on how that day is going. So, really sit down and try to plan, because you would not be surprised how much busy work you are actually spending doing unnecessary stuff until you do that. Like, seriously, I catch myself playing on Facebook and I'm like, why am I on Facebook? I could send a message right now. It would take me 2 minutes, but I'm scrolling Facebook. So if you take the time and kind of write things out, that extra 10 minutes will save you hours. It's kind of like meal planning. Meal planning, that extra hour that you spend on the weekend, especially for us busy moms, saves you 4 hours during the week. So does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Letha. Do you have something to add, Judy?
Well, the pushy comment that you were talking about, because that's what I was afraid of too. It's like, oh, I don't want to have to go sell something or be salesy, I guess was the word. So I keep going back to how my coach got me into it, with the way Pete and I talked for like a whole entire year before he even brought Beachbody into the conversation. And it was more or less, how are you doing? And he knew I was working on fitness and stuff, and more just like taking care of what was going on in my life versus, here, let me sign you up for something, And so that's kind of what I try to do, is when I'm talking to people, it's like, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, good, I'm working out. I'm like, okay, great. And then I just leave it out until maybe something comes up, like, oh, I really don't like with this, or I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. And then, hey, have you tried this? Come up with, like, it doesn't have to be today that I mention Beachbody. It could be tomorrow or in a few days, So just having that pressure off of myself that I don't have to bring it up in this conversation, then it was so much easier to just talk to people about what was going on in their life,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And then if you're posting about it, so a lot of times I'll be in conversations with people and they'll be like, oh, I saw your post about Shakeology. What is that? Or, they bring it into the conversation because they saw you posting about it. So that really does help too. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I love that, Judy. That's a really good point. So, Judy, do you feel like, I know that you're kind of working with finding business builders and new coaches. Do you feel like you know how to help them out when they get started, like what you would do or tell them to do or any of that?
Well, I went and had an official sit down meeting with a girl who's really interested in it, and I felt like I rambled a lot. I was like all over the place, and it's like I should be just listening right now, and so I had to stop myself a few times and just stop and just listen to what she wanted, and not be too pushy, even though I was like, I need you to sign up today, like right now. But, so I had to kind of leave the pressure out of it and just go, I am here to help you, and I have this great offer for you. And I'm just so, like that comment or that post I did about the burpees, like that's my business burpee right now, is sitting and talking to people about the coaching, because I'm learning so much right now still. And so, no, I'm still feeling very green about it, but
yeah, you'll get it though, I promise. Like, it was funny because when I was first first trying as a coach to get other coaches, my husband's the type that he's very like business. Like I was like, you should be the one doing these phone calls.
Yeah.
Like, I stink at this. You're naturally good at this. And there was one time we were riding in the car, and I remember vividly, like this is the second conversation I'd had about coaching ever. And he's sitting there right next to me, like listening the whole time. And I was like dying of like embarrassment because I'm like, he's probably critiquing me the whole time. So I get off the phone, and she was like, yeah, I want to sign up as a coach. So I was all excited, and I get off the phone, and he was like, that was terrible. Thanks, I love you too. but he was like giving me like all this positive like feedback. But it was really interesting to me because a year later, so he deployed right after that, a year later he got back, and he heard another conversation like a week after getting home, and he was in the room. And I can't remember why we were in the same room together, because usually he leaves the room. Anyway, he was in the room. He listened to the whole thing. I got off the phone, and he's like, oh, my gosh, you were awesome. I'm like, thanks. Like, it'd been a year of me practicing, but you'll get better at it. And it wasn't like I went out and took all these sales calls or anything like that, or did anything differently. It was just a matter of me doing it over and over and over and figuring out what to say and how to say it, and what questions to ask and that kind of thing. So I promise you'll get better at it. Even if you feel like you stink and you did terrible, you still did it, and that's the thing. So you just have to keep doing it, and you'll get better, and you'll learn little tricks like, okay, say it like this, that works better, or remember to stop and listen. That'll help definitely. But once you get them saying that they want to be a coach, first thing that you have to do is obviously get them signed up as a coach, right? You add them to our Facebook group, our Team Aspire group, and I recommend doing the Team Pure Results too, just so they have that additional support. Welcome them to the group, so make sure you like post a picture. Hey everybody, welcome, Sally to the team. I'm so excited, that kind of thing, just so she feels like she's welcome, because that's the biggest thing I think, is to get them excited to be part of a team. You don't want them to be like, yes, I want to be a coach. Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
We're going to do this together, not like me just watching and hoping you do a good job. Like we're here to help. So I really want this to be like a team aspect. So make sure you welcome them to the team, and then make sure they know that there's team trainings, there's team calls. If you're not available, they can go to your coach and ask questions. They can post in the team group. They can look up, stuff with online. They can call coach relations. I mean, it's not like them against the world. We're here to help each other. So I think that's the biggest thing that I always try to say, like, okay, I'm here to help you. For you to succeed helps me to succeed. So, we're here to help each other. So anyway, but I think that we're getting close to our time. Does anyone have any specific questions? Anything that you guys need help with as far as being a new coach or helping your new coaches?
Well, I think that's what helped me the most, or one of the things to just be excited about it too, was seeing my picture on there, and it's like, oh, cool, like these guys really want me to do this, and they're really enthused about me being on the team. And then Coach of the Week came along, and when I was Coach of the Week, I was so pumped up about that. I was so excited, and then I actually had a few people message me even and say, well, congratulations on your coaching. And so they see it and they're like, wow, this is really a thing that's working. It's not just her alone,
Yeah, I think that's huge also. So as a coach, it's your, I don't want to say responsibility, but it's your privilege to recognize your coaches when they do things. So if they get their first paycheck, or if they hit Success Club, or even if they do something like smaller, whatever it is, make sure that you're recognizing them, and recognizing them publicly. That's where I'm like, okay, it might embarrass them. So usually I ask if I think it might embarrass, but it really does help, because like Judy said, then their friends see what they're doing. They're like, oh, so it's a lot easier for someone else to recognize them. So like Shannon's coach and her, like butt heads. And so whenever it comes to Shannon advancing, I'm always like, okay, let me know when you rank up, or you hit Success Club 10 or whatever, so I can recognize you. Like, she's my coach, but her coach doesn't do that. So I'm recognizing her. Yeah, so that she has someone recognizing her, because it's like she could post and be like, yeah, I'm a 5-star or whatever next that she's going to hit. But that doesn't go as far as me saying, Shannon's a 5-star coach, so like someone else recognizing you makes a big difference. So I think that's huge. So, yep. And then I also, as a new coach, you just want that. What's really been helping me now that I have a team going more. So once your coaches start signing up people themselves, what really, really, really helps is if they're a serious business builder or wanting to actually coach, I recommend getting on a 3-way call with them. So you have your personally sponsored coach that just signed somebody up, and just welcoming them to the team, going over their goals, explaining to them what Success Club is and Emerald and all that kind of stuff, and just having that phone call with the 3 of you, because then they know that it's not just their coach who cares, but their coach too. So that's made a huge difference for our team since I started to do that. So I would definitely recommend doing that once you guys get to that point. So Judy just reminded me, I forgot to announce the Coach of the Week. So thank you for reminding me. So this week, our Coach of the Week is, she's been doing amazing. I'm really excited for her. Last month, she almost hit Success Club. She got 4 points and then sold a workout the last day of the month. That person didn't want Shakeology at the last second. So she almost hit Success Club, but then this month she's hit Success Club 6. And she just earned one of our free journals prizes that we were running in the Emerald Dash. And she just hit a big milestone. She was going, so if you sign up 5 coaches in your business in 5 weeks, you get a $100 bonus. And so she was going for that. She actually did it in less than a month. So she did it in like 28 days or something like that. So congratulations to Stacy George. She is the coach of the week. So congratulations, Stacy. She's not on the call today. But we're really proud of her. She's doing amazing things. So thank you everybody for joining us live or on the recording. And if you have any questions, make sure you post it under the recording and our team group and we'll answer them. But thank you, and we hope to see you next week. Thanks everyone. Bye.